Laurel, a memoir by Laurella Luce Healy, edited by Bonita Healy, illustrated by Gabriella Lee. For Mama and Mother, both now gone. Part 3. Stony Beach on Lake Winnebago. I don't know if anyone had prepared me for what was next. I went into a red, white-trimmed cottage, the tenant house on a lakeside orchard my father had taken. And there she was, my new mama. I knew her. She lived around the corner from my grandfather's Vinland Street home and attended my aunt's Free Methodist church. She even used to ride her bike to Grandpa's to sing with my aunts. Sometimes Papa had been there. Sometimes she'd come to the cottage prayer meetings my aunts had. The ladder-back dining room chairs would be circled, and the ladies would kneel and fold their hands on the cane seats and earnestly pray for a better world. Yes, I knew her. My new life began. The first morning for breakfast we had bacon and eggs. I loved the bacon. I would eat it and say, "Meat, please." It worked the first couple of times. Then she said, "No, you must eat something else, too." Papa said, "Give it to her." But she said, she must learn what no means, and that I mean it. I didn't get the bacon. We refused to call her Mama. There was only one Mama. When we talked about her among ourselves, we called her or she. No one told us what to call her. The first few weeks, Percy, Ken, and I were the only children home. Ken was in school all day. Percy took a trolley to high school on Monday morning and didn't come home until Friday night. He stayed at an uncle's home. That left me alone with her. What a time I had! I stuck my tongue out at her whenever she wasn't looking and aggravated her in any way I could. I guess she was at her wits' ends, because she spanked me good. It didn't hurt, and it certainly didn't get the devil out of me. "If you whimper around your father when he comes in, I'll give you another one when he goes out," she warned. I didn't whimper. Finally, Maybelle came home from Tripoli. It was wonderful to have a playmate. We had the rag dolls the aunts had made for us, complete with fingers, store-bought faces with eyes that shut, real hair, and dresses tailored almost as nicely as the ones Aunt Jane made for me. But Maybelle went to school every morning with Ken. One morning Papa went away. When he came back, he brought our little brother Sanford. Oh, was she happy! Then she rocked him and sang to him. It did seem good to be all together again, a family, even if she was there. I had heard the family tell about brains. Sis told me everyone had brains. She should know. She went to school. I looked around a little, under the bed and behind the doors, but didn't know just what I was looking for. So I waited until Friday, when Percy came home. I thought he would know. When I asked him where I could find my brains, he laughed at me. "I'll tell you, little sister, where they are," he said, and tapped my forehead. "They are in your head." "Oh," I said. He told me that brains told me what to do, when, and how, and what to say. I think about it as rows and rows of shelves with many round-bottomed Cupid dolls on the shelves. When we have a thought or do anything, the proper Cupid doll bends over and gives the information needed. Then, because of its round bottom, it straightens up in place again. I sat there thinking for a while. It was quite a bit for a 5-year-old. I smiled at Percy and got up to find my Cupid doll. A nice lady came every day to get a pail of milk. She drove a shiny black car. It had glass windows and didn't have a nose like our car had. My brother told me it was an electric car. One day she asked me if I would bring her milk every day, pick up the empty pail, and 3 pennies. It wasn't far to go, but her neighbor had a mean dog. He would bark and growl and show his teeth. I'm sure he would have eaten me alive if his rope had been longer. I would run by that dog, pick up the clean pail and my pennies, and run home. I saved my pennies in a glass jar. When I had enough, I would buy the mama doll I wanted so much. We had a wonderful summer. We climbed the trees in the orchard, swam in Lake Winnebago, played hide and seek in the barn, and played with the neighbors. One day we were playing hide the thimble in a neighbor's house. Someone would hide the thimble in plain sight, and the first person to spot it would call out, "Huckle buckle beanstalk." It was my turn to hide the thimble when it came time to go home. We bounded out the door, the thimble on my finger. It was a very pretty green thimble. I couldn't believe a thimble could be so pretty. Supper was ready, and we were hungry, but she spotted the thimble on my finger. I was told to take the thimble back and tell the neighbor lady I was sorry I had taken it home. I was to hurry, as it soon would be dark. I ran across the alfalfa field, across the dirt road, and then up the Williamses' drive. I put the thimble on the steps, turned around, and beat it for home. Once in a while I'd say a word I shouldn't. It started with S. She had warned me and told me it wasn't nice. Well, I said it again. She took a soft white wet washcloth, rubbed a little ivory 99% pure soap on it, and washed out my mouth. She showed me a small black speck on the cloth. "See, that speck is the word," she said. "I took it out of your mouth, and you won't say that word again." "I don't think that word looks a bit like that speck," I told her. But she never heard me say it again. Not long after that, Papa and I were riding in the wagon. The horses were pulling a load of corn stalks, and Fanny wasn't pulling her share. "Fanny, get busy, you lazy old girl! What the H are you doing?" Papa cried. I told Papa he wouldn't say bad words if he let her wash out his mouth with ivory 99% pure soap. At last I would be 6 on November 4th, 1921, and I could start school. However, the school board had different ideas. Papa and she agreed. I was crushed. It was quite a walk to the trolley, and then a 5-mile ride on the trolley to school. I was a small child, and the adults considered the trip too much for me. I was to wait another year. About this time, life had prepared another whack at me. Because Mama had died of tuberculosis, Aunt Nellie insisted that we all have TB checks every year. Percy and I were skinny kids. Ken and Maybelle were rosy-cheeked and rugged, but the doctor thought Ken and Maybelle should go to the sanitarium for 6 weeks. I missed Ken, the family peacekeeper, and my playmate. Then my bank was robbed. The money I had earned running from the mean dog was gone. Papa had borrowed it to buy me a pair of shoes. He said he would pay me back when we went to get the mama doll. The shoes were nice, patent bottoms and natural tops, lace-up shoes, but they were not a mama doll. With 3 disappointments all at once, I was feeling badly. I crawled under the steps and under the porch to think about it. I cried and must have fallen asleep. When I awoke, I heard her and Papa talking. She said I'd catch it good when I came in, and Papa was angry too. They looked in the barn and all over the house and through the outbuildings. I'd be crazy to crawl out with them in their moods. Finally, she was crying, and Papa was upset. He'd have to get some help to find me. So I thought it safe and I crawled out and sat on the steps. Percy found me. They all loved and kissed me, even her. They all wanted to know where I had been, and I said, right here all the time. I wasn't about to tell anyone my hiding place. Late summer came. My brattiness seemed to simmer down. I found Papa one afternoon sitting on some hay in the sun. The big door of the barn was wide open. There were baskets of apples all around him. Papa had left teaching after 21 years when Mama was sick and taken up tenant farming so he could be home. Now he was packing apples to ship. I asked him if I could help. He showed me how he inspected every apple and then wrapped it in pretty green paper and put it in a crate to go to faraway places. Then he inspected and I wrapped and put the apples in the crate. Many years later, I saw apples in a crate wrapped as we had done. They were in the window of our grocery store in New York State. It reminded me of the wonderful afternoon I had spent with Papa. One Friday when Percy came home from school, he stood outside and called hello. We went to see why he didn't come inside. Wow! He had met up with a skunk. Papa handed him a bath towel, swimming suit, and bar of soap. He told him to leave all his clothes there and take a good bath. Then Papa went out and buried Percy's clothes. End of part 3.